Is it time to create something different with your life and your body? Right Body for You will inspire you and invite you to a different way of creating the body and the life you truly desire. Ready? Let's go. Here's your host, Donnielle.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to Right Body for You. And you may be going, that doesn't sound like Donnielle Carter's voice. That's because it isn't. Donnielle, hi. I'm Betsy McLoughlin, and I'm here today with Maggie Schlarb. Say hi, Maggie.
Hi, everybody. I'm so happy to be here.
Hello. And Donnielle is actually playing right now in Europe, and she has very kindly allowed us to guest co-host for her today. So just to tell you guys a little bit about us, Maggie and I are both Certified Facilitators with Access Consciousness. I'll let Maggie tell you all a little bit more about her. And I am a Right Body for You taster facilitator. And Maggie, what about you for Right Body for You?
I am also a Right Body for You taster facilitator. So here we are. And like where do we go from here? And also I just wanted to share a little bit and I want you to share more too, just because my journey with my body started young, of this like total hatred of my body, probably around the age younger than 12, but that's when I kind of decided to be really cruel to my body. And this beautiful adventure of the gift in that, seeing the gift in that brought me all the way to finding the tools of Right Body for You. And,
oh my gosh,
and
so true.
Yeah, and it's so true. And with that, actually having I walk around with my bestie now. My body is my bestie. So like evolution times a godzillion. And what about you, Betsy? Like what? I'm curious because I don't even know if I know this about you. Like, what was the beginning of, in a sense, your quest for the Right Body for You tools, even though you didn't even know it?
Oh gosh, great question. Well, I too was very, very cruel to my body, and for a very, very long time, treated my body as my enemy, as opposed to my friend and my best friend, and you're saying your bestie. Really had a lot of hatred and did just about everything I could to destroy my body. So fortunately, I found the wonderful gifts of access consciousness, and then from then, one of the first things I saw was Donnielle's program, The Right Body for You, and I bought her book and I read it like probably in a day or maybe 2 days, and I was like, oh my gosh, and reading it and thinking, well, that's great for her, but I don't think that can work for me, right? I was still in a place of a lot of doubt, and how can you I had been so raised with, if you want to lose weight, you have to do A, B, C in order to get X, Y, and Z, and all of the being in a box that most of us have been raised with, or you have to do this amount of exercise, or you have to do this or that. And so, fast forward, I've been privileged to be part of playing with these tools and these gifts for about 5 years now. And to say my whole relationship has changed with my body is like an understatement of gigantic proportion. And I no longer hate my body. I no longer I had tremendous judgment. And that's what I've now learned is one of the biggest things that keeps you from having the body that you and your body might desire. And so I can't say that I'm 100% judgment free, but I am so much better and loving my body that I'm super grateful. So I'd love to share all of these tools with everybody, because you and I both know now, Maggie, that it is possible to be the best friend with your body and be in communion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that brings us to our topic for the day.
Yes.
Yeah, which is communion with your body. What does that mean to you? Do you treat your body as your enemy or your best friend. And so that's what Betsy and I are going to be really diving into, that communion. That and one of the things that I love to talk to people about is like there's having a body, and then there's having a relationship with your body, and then there's communion with your body. And it's like that's how I've seen like the evolution of my stepping into communion with your body. And I'm curious how you, Betsy, would describe communion with your body.
Peace.
Yeah.
Peace, right? Like just this, when you ask that question, like there's just such a space of, there's not the internal turmoil and chatter and hatred going on. There really is a communion. And that's for me. And then I'm going to turn the tables and ask you that question right back at you. So what is communion for you?
Communion for me is, I'm like that piece. I'm like, yeah, you nailed it with those words. And there, like the communion is this openness with my body, and this communication and total presence with my body. Mm-hmm. So that, like even like this, and that communion comes with the judgment or the commitment to see if I am in judgment with my body, and quickly go to a space of, like, some people call it neutrality. I would call it an access consciousness, no point of view, but really be really present with, so that when the past few mornings, I've actually woken up, except for this morning, the past probably Monday through Thursday, woke up in the morning with actually a lot of achiness in my body. And I used to go into the wrongness and what did I eat and blah, 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 blah. Whereas I just got on, what I've been doing is getting on my yoga mat and getting really curious and getting really present with what the information my body has for me. And that's communion to me. It's like there's no wrongness about what's showing up. It's just like, okay,
right.
Let's get really curious. Let's be playful. Let's see what is possible as we move and shift into whatever my body really is inviting me to.
Yes. And for people who may not know what you're talking about, could you explain a little bit more about what you mean by being present with your body?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so being present with my body. So oftentimes, and I'll look at this. So before being present with my body, it was either like pain would show up and I'd pop a pill. Pain would show up and I'd think I need to go see someone, right? It was just like pain, shut down, go find some other source to help, right? Like it's like, help! But the presence is really like, okay, cool. There's like, I'm noticing, and I don't even call it pain anymore. So the presence is okay. There's a sensation, right? And that actually is one of the keys to getting present with, is not like pain in this, like what we've been taught is pain is wrong. And getting present with is, what if pain is information? Right? And when we cut ourselves with a knife when we're cooking, there's pain. That's information. I've been cut, right? Now what do I do with it? And that seems obvious, right? And yet when there's pain, like there's achiness in our body, we go to the wrongness of it when we can go like, oh, what information is this? As if it were just like a stubbed toe. Of course, I just stubbed my toe. There's pain. Cool, my body's been hurt. Now what? The same thing with those aches that seem like they come out of nowhere, yet underneath that, when you get present, getting present is paying attention to, there is more information underneath that.
Oh, I love that you mentioned, when you had pain, you would pop a pill, and I too, like I used to live on Advil. Like I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia, and I walked around in what I had concluded was just terrible pain. So I was always like just taking a pill because that's what you do. That's what we were taught. You go to the doctor because you hurt or you have this, and here's a pill. And there really is no communication, no presence with your body. And so in what you just said, Maggie, with, what if the pain is your body telling you something? And our bodies are so aware. And I would love to discuss this a little bit and I'm sure Donnielle has a million times, I know I've heard her speak about it, but that our body is, like this giant receiver of information from everywhere and everything around us. So what if our body is just trying to give us some information? And that's the only way it knows how to, because usually we're not paying attention, so then it just kind of gets louder and louder and louder until you're like, ow, something hurts.
Exactly. And the other thing I like to say about the body, and because I want to dive in so that people can really start looking at, like, oh, how is my body communicating with me? But I always talk about how the body is actually the manual you thought you were never given when you were born.
I love that.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And we looked like, I remember when at first, like, my body still talks a lot, but my body was quite loud with pain and aches and that sort of thing growing up. And I used to get so frustrated because I was always looking for it to speak English to me. And so with that, it's like, okay, well, how many different languages can the body speak, and how can we receive information? And that's like the communion with your body is being open to all the ways. It's like how my eyes will glance and see a sign that has the word that I've been looking for to describe what's going on with me, right? It's like how many different ways, like the smells, the how our bodies function can show us so much to create that communion, that conversation, and that information that, yes, that pain starts actually as a little niggly twitch that, we go to tie our shoe and there's a twitch, we're like, oh, that's different, and we move on, right? And then all of a sudden 5 days later, we bend over to tie our shoe and we're like, oh, shoot, I can't move.
True story.
Yeah.
And I have, now knowing like the whole communication and communion with my body, I'm like, oh, goodness, body, I am so sorry. I have ignored you for so long. Like, I am so sorry. I have not been listening, and that you had to keep turning the volume up. It's kind of like the kid when the mother's on the phone, like the classic, mommy, and mom's not, acknowledging the child. So the kid gets louder and louder and more insistent until the mother finally, in frustration, will go, a lot of times will go, what? Right? So how much have we been doing that with our bodies?
Right. Exactly. And I think you just nailed it. It's like, how do you start? You start a conversation just like you did. Like, hey, buddy, I now hear that you've been trying to talk to me all this time. Thank you so much. And I'm so sorry I've been ignoring you, or I didn't even know how to communicate with you. Let's start now.
Yeah. Right. So if our body speaks a completely different language than we do, then what tools can we offer Donnielle's listeners that can start that, besides what we've already talked about? What else pops into your mind in this moment?
Well, I'm like, what else? So many things. And I wonder, too, if we just even, it's asking your body, inviting them to ask their bodies, even though it seems like such a foreign thing, to begin a dialogue and to be gentle with ourselves. And I know we're about to head on break, and so we can leave them with a beautiful cliffhanger of what if just right now, and as we go to break, you ask yourself and your body and invited your body to a different kind of conversation. It's no longer a monologue, but it becomes a dialogue of, hey, body, I'm actually interested in what you have to say, and I realize it's a different language, so I'm ready to learn now.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, Maggie.
Thank you.
So you guys think about that while we take a quick break, and you're listening to Right Body for You with Donnielle Carter with her guest hosts today, Maggie Schlarb and Betsy McLoughlin, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that, when run, assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bars session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
Hey, everybody, this is Right Body for You with Donnielle, but guess what? It's not Donnielle. It's Maggie and Betsy today. So we're talking about, we sound a little different than her, don't we? We're talking about communion with your body and how to talk with your body, and we kind of ended on the note of asking you, so if you're just joining us, asking you to check in with your body and just say, hey, body, like, let's start a dialogue versus a monologue. And even like open up a conversation if you've never talked with your body. How crazy, weird, and wacky can you be to create a different relationship with your body?
Yes. And the other thing when you said, dialogue versus a monologue, I was also thinking like, partnership and a creationship versus a dictatorship.
Yeah, that.
Right, because I'm laughing at, for so long, like I already shared, I was a dictatorship and I was in control and I knew better, and, my poor body was like, hello, I'm here.
Yeah, absolutely. So what would you say, because talking with your body to me is so normal. Yet I get that it's not normal for most. So what would you want to share with people who are listening or like, wait, I could have a conversation with my body? What other tools, tricks, tips can we to really invite in more conversation so that the communion is a possibility?
Yes. Well, one of the things that first popped when you asked that question was, for me, the judgment piece. So, like, when I get out of the shower in the morning and I'm going to, put my lotion on and whatever, is first of all, if I have started to judge any part of my body, then it's like, oh, wait, stop. I'm sorry, body, and then it's like use the clearing statement that with Access Consciousness, and I just pock and pot it all and shift the energy. And if you guys are interested in what that is, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. But that's one of the first things that I do. And then I apologize to my body and say, hey, I'm so sorry. I started judging you. And then I, like kind of slow down, like if I'm putting on my lotion, and actually, get in touch with this, how nice it feels to have some lotion being put on the dry skin and have a conversation. Body, thank you so much. And there was a time in my life when I weighed 500 pounds. So I thank my body for taking care of me at that size. It's not an easy job. And I'm like, thank you, body, so much, because I had such, I really did abuse you. And I'm so grateful that you took care of me and you supported me, and you had no point of view about whatever size I am. I had the point of view, but my body, just always supports me. So then I just go to, like, thank you so much for taking care of me. Thank you for not getting, I'm like, there could have been all kinds of things that had happened, but did not. So I'm very grateful that my body really took care of me, even when I didn't take care of me. So that's one of the first things that, like if you start going to judgment, like, put up a big red stop sign or the big red stop it button and change that instantly and, choose something different. And what about for you?
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, I love that. Well, the other piece too is that gratitude piece, and the way, like, when I have been in judgment, I start looking at all the different areas of my life that of my body that it just takes care of. I mean, our digestion does its thing. I used to have terrible trouble with digestion, and over time, and especially with the energies and the questions and that with Access Consciousness and Right Body for You, that's shifted dynamically. And it's like my heart beats. I don't have to think, okay, every second, okay, heart beat, and going to the gratitude of that my body is doing this, my feet that take me everywhere, right? My hands that get to hold my body. And even when I was pregnant, the gratitude that I had for my body of creating this beautiful creature, starting there, the gratitude there, and then that gratitude flooded into the look of my body, because that, when I was younger, and up until a few years ago, the obsession of the appearance of me was overwhelming and also like consuming. And so that I went from the inside out to be grateful, and then the other part would be to talk to my body and be grateful. Like I forced myself to find the one part of my body externally that I liked.
Yeah.
And then, and then that starts more of a, oh, thank you. And like, oh my goodness, then there's this muscle. And was that muscle always there? Yes, of course it was.
Yeah, no, and when you can find something on your, on your body that you enjoy, whether it's, your eye color or the color of your hair, or find something that you do like about you. And then, by shifting the energy from, the judgment and the criticism to the gratitude, it absolutely changes possibilities for you, the communion for you and your body. And then when you change the possibilities and you open the door to the communion, and the respect and the co-partnership that you have with your body, then what is possible? And so for me, I no longer have to pop Advil, 4 times a day. And it's very, very rare that I even have to think about taking that. And what about for you in the communion that you now have with your body? What has shifted for you?
What hasn't shifted? It's the way I see. There is gratitude for my body, and the way I see my body in the mirror, like the way, like I see it myself differently. And I kind of had a moment, I was like, oh, has my body always been like this? And yeah, I think it actually has been. but I didn't see it. I saw what I thought it was. I saw the judgments. And so there actually is like far, far, far less, like very little judgment around my body and my world, which is huge because it is a bestie. And I think I wouldn't judge a bestie to the best of my ability. And when I do, when the judgment comes up, I'm like, oh, what is that really? Right. And so that's one of the things, the level of gratitude, seeing my body differently. And then there is the enjoyment of having a body and embodiment has dynamically changed as well.
I love that you're bringing that piece in. And for those of you who might not know Maggie, she is quite an adventurer. Like, how old was your son when you did that whole bike trip?
He was 2, or he turned 2 on the trip.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So tell the listeners about that.
the quickie. So when my kiddo was about to turn, like the year he turned 2, we took 5 months and we cycle toured the South Island of New Zealand, and I pulled him behind me the whole way. And that was a really phenomenal experience, adventure with my body, with my kiddo, and really, I'm like, what else there's so much to say about that. And yet that joy of being outside, moving my body, including my kiddo, and being grateful for, we did, I think it's 2,000 kilometers. We would do anywhere like minimum 2 hours a day of cycling to get to the next destination. And some days the longest day was 8 hours. Yeah.
Wow. So when you were, riding a bike for 8 hours, like what did you do, and what conversation did you have with your body to, be able to ride your bike for 8 hours?
Right. The conversation, it was really cool. So I started, they were really cool conversations. It's too bad I didn't. Like, next time I go, there will be an audio device where I record all the things I wanted to write. And these conversations, so it would be like paying attention to that pedal and really dialing in that circular motion and finding the groove. Like, it was this, actually, as I say, thank you for asking this, was this constant question of like the efficiency. Because some days I was tired, but it was fun, right? Some days my body was like, oh dear goodness. And so finding that and efficiency, and then tapping into my favorite game, and my body was a part of this too, was the more we cycled, the more I'd like so when you're driving, when you're biking and you're like, you can feel the cars, you can hear with your ears, and there's a sensation of vibration as a vehicle is coming up behind us. So my game with myself was to allow the sensations in my body to hear the vehicle coming. I was so tuned into that with my body that I would guess what kind of vehicle it was. And I started to get it spot on every time.
Oh my gosh, how fun is that?
Yeah, because there is a different energy that the body can perceive, whether it's a logging truck, whether it's a car, whether it's a truck. And I started to get down to like, okay, this one's like a camper van. And then I'd start getting tricky and be like, well, which one is it? Is it they had Juicy, they had different kinds of camper vans that people would rent, and just playing this really cool game and tapping into that sensation of my body when my body was yes, my body was no, and like, hey, it's a big one, move over kind of thing.
Yes. Right. And, if you go to your logical brain, like how would you're looking forward, so you can't see that, yet you knew.
Exactly. And
so
and
that
and
perhaps
I think
be the communion. Oh, sorry, I was just going to say, is that perhaps the communion and conversation that we've been talking about today?
Absolutely.
Did you have something else there?
I'm like, I did, but I lost it.
I'm sorry.
Train left the station. I'm sure as we're getting ready for our next break, it may or may not come back. If it's good and my body wants to share it, it will.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and Cassie in the chat room says, she loves playing a game with your body. And it's a great way to practice the communion, the conversation, the being with your best friend. And I wanted to touch on this just a little bit is, when you said like your judgment, do you judge your friends, the people that you adore? Do you judge them?
Do I? You're asking me?
Like, right? I'm asking this question for you and everybody, including myself, right? And for me, it's pretty much a no. How about you?
It's pretty much a no. And then when I do notice that energy of judgment come in, I'm like, wait, what is this? And I check in. And so that there is, because my commitment is no judgment. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah, me as well.
Yeah.
So, and then the point of that question is then if you're not judging or very little judging, and then as soon as you realize you're doing it, you stop with the people in your life who you adore, why would you not include your body in that same category?
Mm-hmm.
So how about we leave people with our next break on that question. Then when we come back, we do have a great question in the chat room. So again, you all are listening to Right Body for You with Donnielle Carter, who is right now in Vienna teaching a Right Body for You workshop. How lucky is Vienna? And we'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stay tuned.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
Check out the new ringtones from Access Consciousness.
What is possible? What is possible? Smoking hot. Smoking hot.
And everyone's favorite,
Take a pass. Take a pass.
download the latest and hottest accessory. Go to accessconsciousness.com/ringtones for all the details on how to download to your iPhone today.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle at accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back to Right Body for You. You guys are listening. You are in the right space. Today it's Maggie Schlarb and Betsy McLoughlin. How did we get so lucky to host Donnielle's radio show for her today? So
I know.
I hope we've had some great conversation already and so grateful. I did want to mention a couple of ways that people can find Donnielle. I know she's got the Right Body for You Facebook page. She's got rightbodyforyou.com. She has the fabulous book that I mentioned at the beginning of the show that you can find on Amazon or the Access Consciousness website. And would you like to tell everybody about the book club coming up?
Yeah, so we have this amazing book club coming up, as Betsy so shared with us, that you get to come and play. It's free. It's a way to dive into the book, And you can find that at, there's a short link. So you can either go to accessconsciousness.com and look up the book club, and it'll be under there. And then or you can go to a bit.ly link. So let me just double check that I have the bit.ly link correct. So it's bit.ly/Right Body for You Book Club. And it will also be posted in the Right Body for You Facebook page. So you can go check it out there, sign up. These book clubs that we do, they're different. We get to have conversations. We're not reading from the books necessarily. I know that we do like little pieces of it if that's what is going to create the most, but there's really a beautiful conversation of like, what's going on in this chapter, and let's have a conversation. So how do we get better than that? And I wonder how many bodies and beings want to come and play there.
Yes, and I just want to make a quick correction on the bit.ly link. It's the bit.ly/Right Body Book Club. And each word is capitalized. You're welcome. I just want to make sure they're going to the right space. Right, so each word is capitalized in initial caps, and it does make a difference in the bit.ly link. And I know this will be all over Facebook. We'll be promoting it as well with all the other wonderful Right Body for You taster facilitators, and it'll be in Donnielle's emails. And if you guys are interested, it'll be a lot of fun. So
we have some.
Where else do we want to go? Yes, go for it, Maggie.
Well, there's actually some questions back. We have a couple awesome people joining us in the chat room. And one of the things, there's a couple of questions, but I think Julie just asked about how do you start having communion with your body? And I wanted to share this one thing with you that I do probably daily. Actually, it's just part of who I be now, but to cultivate this, how I worked on the bicycle and paying attention to that is when I'm going for my walk or I have 20 minutes and I want to go adventure and have this, in a sense, I call it a dance with my body and create more communion, is I'll pick an amount of time to go for a walk. And I'll literally just let go of the control and ask my body to show me, where do you want to go? And so there's this tool that it's like a light and heavy tool where so even just right now you can look at, okay, ask your body, and your body will know to show you the sensation, the sense of lightness. And you might notice a difference in your body. And if you don't get this right away, just keep asking because it's there. And then you can ask your body the sensation or the sense of heavy. And you get a sense of that. And so what's light is true. It's more like a yes. What's heavy is not true. It's more like a no. So if you take a time piece, the time, like you've got 20 minutes, you've got an hour, say, hey, body, show me the way. Take yourself on a walk. And for every, stop, every turn you get to, if you're in a street, there's a three-way turn, just ask your body to show you which way. And there will be a way that the sensation is there's a lightness to it, and follow that. And include that as body, we need to be back in 20 minutes, and let your body lead you on that journey with total trust. Mm-hmm. And that's a way to cultivate that trust of like, oh, this is a yes, this is a turn here. And you'll get that because you may or may not have, and I'm guessing a lot of us have this experience where all of a sudden we're driving home from work or we're driving home from somewhere where we go the same way every day. And then all of a sudden we have this impulse to go in a different direction. And we don't know the rhyme or reason, but we just go. And that's kind of that's the cultivating the communion of, oh, I'm going this way. And allowing your body to contribute to that. And some phenomenal adventures have shown up by me with that.
Such a great example. And, the asking your body to show you and then having no point of view about what shows up. And again, in that you've got the partnership as opposed to you trying to control everything. And the other piece that is kind of pinging me right now as you were speaking, Maggie, was the part about conclusions. And what do I mean by that? So what was pinging very loudly is, where have you concluded that your body can't do whatever it is that you think your body can't do? Mm-hmm. So in that conclusion, have you even asked your body, hey, let's say you can't do yoga, right? You've concluded that you can't do yoga, so you don't even try any kind of yoga. Now, I know that you are a yoga person. I have never even tried it. And I was talking to somebody the other day who said she had decided that she could never do it. Like, she couldn't get up off the ground, so that meant she couldn't do yoga. And she said she was very pleasantly surprised to find out that there's a lot of yoga poses that you don't have to be on the ground for. And then she had concluded and decided that she was going to be the oldest and the biggest person in the class. And she said, and guess what? She was neither. And she was able to do way more with her body than she had ever decided that she could. And this came up, and I just did a Right Body for You taster, and this was part of the conversation that we had. And it was to see her face just light up telling this story about, how many conclusions she had made, and then she decided to try anyhow, and then something different came, and she was so happy, and just her whole face lit up telling this story. So I love that you brought this into the conversation today. Thank you.
Yeah.
So.
I'm like, that's just, I know. I have so much joy in
yes, so much.
the possibility of what is possible with bodies when we treat them with the kindness that we treat our friends, our loved ones, the people we adore. There's so much there. How much energy is available when we do that? Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
Gosh, there's so much just joyful energy here. So let's see. We did have a couple other questions. I'm just kind of scrolling up to see. Okay, Cassie was asking, what happens? Where was it? Oh, I lost it. Something about being impossible.
Yes, so she said, when you want to change something, but it seems impossible, overwhelming, what is the first step?
Oh, great. Yeah, that kind of goes right with what we just started talking about. So what is the first step? Right? Well, first of all, maybe change your point of view that it's not impossible. And you can even say to yourself, well, everywhere that I have decided that ABC is impossible, what if it really is possible? And if you've ever seen the graphic or, the words impossible, if you separate out the I am from possible, it's I'm possible. So everywhere that you've concluded that something is impossible, what if you started asking questions about what could be possible? And in opening up that dialogue with your wonderful, fabulous body, how would your body respond? What would your body ask to do?
Yeah.
What do you have, and what do you have that to add to that, my dear?
I love that. And one of the things I know, one of the things I love that, and so asking your body to show you what's possible, as you said, but it's like I literally be like, body, show me. Just show me.
Yeah.
And again, it's that the sense of, I don't know, surrender is quite the correct word, but it's that letting go and totally trusting, like, okay, body, show me what is possible and show me the shifts and the changes. And then with that, it's the willingness to see it, because all of it is probably already changing that you think it's impossible. But when we don't acknowledge that something is shifting, even though the fact that something can shift, even if the pain gets worse, it's like, okay, there's a change here, so it can change. Versus, it's getting worse and going down that road. It's like, no, there's actually a shift here, so what is possible? And body, show me. And the more you invite your body to show you, the more it will. It's building the muscle of that very ask and that receiving the information that your body has to give you.
Yes. And in the receiving of the information, when you get bits of pieces and whispers and something that may not make any sense logically, instead of immediately shutting it down, ask those questions. Is this what I've been asking for? Follow, like children don't play linearly. Easy for me to say. They'll go from toy to toy to toy, and then they go back to the first thing, and you watch them play, and you're like, what in the world? Right? They're following, having fun. And so what if you follow those questions or the whispers that come in with no point of view, and then keep asking questions? One of my favorite questions is what is this, what I've been asking for, showing up completely different than what I thought it would? And you may get a yes, you may get a no, you may just get nothing, you may get more questions to come in, and just by following what does show up and staying in the question of it all, other things will pop in.
Yeah. So before we go to, I think we have one more break. What should we leave them with before we go so they can ponder, ask their body a question before as we go on break?
How about the body show me? And body show me where I've not been in communion with you. And what else is possible now, body? Ooh, what else is possible?
Cool.
All right, you guys, stick with us. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. You're listening to Right Body for You radio show with Donnielle Carter and her guests today, Maggie Schlarb and Betsy McLoughlin, and we'll be back in just a couple minutes. Stay with us.
The life and the body you secretly hope for is possible. Somewhere you know that, right? What if creating that body and life is not about deprivation and sacrifice? Would you be willing to choose it? What if it could be as simple as changing how you look at things? Right Body for You with Donnielle is a different kind of radio show. Each week, Donnielle invites you to you. She shares simple tools that you can use immediately to create changes in your body and your life. Something different begins now. Listen for Right Body for You every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com.
What if there's nothing wrong with you? What if you're far greater than you've ever given yourself credit for? What if it's time to know the gift and the contribution you are to the world and to like yourself a lot more? Hi, my name is Dane here. 13 years ago, I started to truly ask questions. Actually, I started to be the question, and everything changed for me. Asking questions opens doors to infinite possibilities. And it's not about finding the answer. It's about being the question. Always. What I'm inviting you to step into is something that Einstein, Marie Curie, Newton, Da Vinci, Gandhi, Picasso, and Aristotle all knew to be true. What if no question is too big or too small? What if anything is possible for you? What if together we could create a kinder, gentler, happier world? Is now the time? Go to beingyouclass.com and sign up for a free video series, My Gift to You. beingyouclass.com. What if you, truly being you, are the gift and change this world requires? beingyouclass.com.
This is Right Body for You with Donnielle. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255 or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us at Inspired Choices Network. If you'd like to email a question, please send it to Donnielle@accessconsciousness.com. Now, back to the program.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Right Body for You with Donnielle, but it's not with Donnielle today. It's with Maggie Schlarb and Betsy McLoughlin. And just before they break, we left you with pondering something with your body and asking your body where you were not in communion with your body. And I'm curious what showed up, and I know you can't tell us directly, but I just wanted to bring in that curiosity of, okay, well, what showed up, and the invitation of the tool of interesting point of view. If you went into any judgment, if you weren't in communion with your body, what if that was just an interesting point of view? Because it's about getting curious about what your body knows and getting curious about what else is possible, so that you can create the communion with your body that is possible, even if it seems impossible in this 10 seconds. So on that note, Betsy, what else do you have to add? And what else do you have to add, and what else can we say for the last little bit of the show today?
Well, I would love just to share a little bit more with Donnielle's listeners about that. She's actually, I was looking at her website, which I do frequently, but this really popped out at me today, and this is the rightbodyforyou.com. What if just changing how you view your body can change not only your body, but also your life? And from a true story, I put in the chat room, true story, times a godzillion. Wow. When I got out of such terrible judgment of myself and I began communion, like I shared earlier, I no longer have the terrible body pains. I do not have fibromyalgia. I've shed a lot of the pounds that I had on my body. And did I follow some diet? Sometimes I did, sometimes I didn't. But it was, for me, I know it's way more about not being in such horrific judgment of myself. So that's, wherever you are with the size or the shape or the size of your body where you are not happy with it, whether you think you're too skinny or you think you have too many pounds on, what if you started with what we've been sharing this whole show, with having the communion with your body, having that partnership, having the adoration for your body? I wonder what will show up for you then.
That's beautiful.
What else would you like to add to that, Miss?
I'm like, well, yeah. What if? I mean, that's just beautiful. And what if that was how you functioned with yourself and your body in every moment? Yes.
And has your life changed dynamically since you started the communication and playing with your best friend, Maggie? How much has your life changed?
Astronomically. Absolutely, right. Astronomically. And just the level of joy and enjoyment and the space of the creation and possibility, because I'm no longer in judgment of my body as much as if I would have been paid for the amount of judgment I had for my body, I'd probably be a billionaire by now.
Right.
So, and now, what can be created from, because that's not a fun place to be in judgment of one's body. So, yeah, change dynamically, enjoy my body. It's fun to go shopping. It's fun to dress up. It's even it's fun to be naked now. It's all these things have changed. Yeah.
Right. And how much more yummy can you create your life even beyond where it is right now with you and your body?
Exactly. And that's I think, really, asking the question of what is possible with my body now? What is possible for everyone listening? What is possible with your body now? Even if you've had a good relationship with your body, what else is possible?
Yes. It's one of my favorite questions, one of my favorite go-to questions. What else is possible here? What else is possible beyond anything that you can imagine with you and your body? Oh, Maggie, it has been such fun to play with you.
Thank you. So everyone listening, be sure to check out the Facebook page, Right Body if you like it, so you get the updates, and check out the book club. Thank you so much. Grateful to be here. Thanks, Betsy.
Yes, thank you. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for listening to Right Body for You. Donnielle will return next Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central, 12 p.m. Mountain, and 11 a.m. Pacific on InspiredChoicesNetwork.com. We hope you and your body will join us. Until then, have fun.